Hello everybody, and this will be quite a different video to the rest in this series. Rather than being a full-scale review of one or two games, this is more of a quick look at what else the Zelda series is up to between mainline titles. This video specifically covers the time after Zelda 1 and before the Wind Waker. I was going to have the Oracle games here as the next video in this series, however, due to issues on my end and the announcement that we had ASO eventually, I thought best if I just wait. There'll be a couple more videos like these later on. After I reviewed Skyward Sword in about 8 years, I'll do another for Zelda in the 2000s, and another after Hyrule Warriors, and by that time the sun would have exploded.
And everything will be perfect.
Oddly enough, I have to start with something that isn't even a game. As the first form of media, the series dived into, aside its own series, was an American animated TV show called The Legend of Zelda, airing in September 1989 till December of the same year. Distributed by Viacom and produced by The Zelda TV Show ran 15 minutes per episode with 13 episodes in total, so only a few hours to do the entire thing. It takes a lot of creative liberties with what the series was established as on the NES, however I can totally understand that, as we have the first two games to draw from. I mean, there is a ton to work with. Then I watched the first episode, and I really didn't want to watch any more than that. The biggest creative distance from Zelda was giving the series protagonist Link a voice, something no game does outside of grunts and screams. Actually, that statement isn't fully correct, but I'll get to that in just a minute.
My kind of girl.
Link, your mouth didn't even move there. Link's voice acting and direction flies in the face pretty much everything you ever thought you knew about our hero, with Link being incredibly whiny and irritating across the entire show, with no sign of character development. That's the case for the main character, and the rest of the character is incredibly one-dimensional. The most infamous part of this show is the
Excuse me, princess.
line Link repeats across the entire series, and repeats this goal-seeking catchphrase 29 times across 13 episodes. That's twice every 15 minutes. The voice acting is awful in general, and I should have just threw in any sound effects because it can be asked to make more, and it is incredibly jarring. They also blast the Zelda main theme everywhere in the show. I was starting to climb up the fucking wall. I genuinely thought my playback was broken because of how much it overused. Past that, the narration quality is subpar even for 1989, this face is fucking hideous, the comedy lands flatter than my singing, and the overall production value leaves me very losing to go back to it again. And straight after this, I had to sit through all the CDI cutscenes.
Oh boy, I'm so hungry I could eat an Octorok.
It was a good day. These next three games can probably fund a video by themselves with how infamous they are, but I have a few reasons why I'm shoving them in here. Firstly, not only are CDI games stupidly expensive and hard to find, but so is the console itself, and finding an emulator for these three is borderline impossible. Secondly, I don't want to spend a good chunk of my life playing some of the worst games ever made. That sounds kind of stupid to say out playing them for myself, but fucking look at this! Little backstory. In the early 90s, Nintendo wanted a CD add-on for Super Nintendo. They approached Sony for this deal, but after a falling out, both parties went in separate ways. Sony went on to dominate the industry for over a decade, but Nintendo still wanted a CD add-on, and eventually found a partnership with Philips to make a CD games console. Nintendo released a profits from the system, while Philips were allowed to use the Mario and Zelda licenses for games on their platform. However, these games involved no one who worked on the previous games or even knew anything about Zelda, leading us to the games Link vs Evil, Zelda World of Gamelon, and Zelda's Adventure. The first two are brother and sister games, using the same music, UI, gameplay, sound effects, everything really, all except a different playable character. The controls have been reported as sluggish and responsive with a baffling interface. These two follow a similar gameplay style to Zelda 2 on the NES, and since then this has never been tried again. But the most well-known aspect of these things is the fully animated cutscenes. If you've ever seen a YouTube poop from the early 2010s, you'll likely know this already. These are bad on an entirely different level compared to the TV show, but they do have a so bad it's good quality to them, unlike the TV show, which is terrible and I hate it.
Join me, Link, and I will make your face the greatest in Korodai, or else you will die.
Sorry, Zelda. Not enough rubies. You'll have to wipe out a few more gorillas to get that.
Hello, dearie. Oh, just a minute. Isn't it lovely? Bring some fairy dust and I'll make it a magic cloak.
Hey, there's a fisherman trapped in the fish head. Really?
Thanks, you saved me. That's the last time I'm going fishing. See you in Sakado.
My cakes will burn. You've killed me.
Good.
Lamp oil, rope, bombs? You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies.
Biggest crab I ever caught. It's a goma. You're pretty good. Here. Thanks.
I may be old and ugly, but I still know a few tricks. Bring some grapple berries. I'll show you a good one.
I may be hideous, but after a year of being frozen, you will beg to join me. Oh my goodness, this is awful!
Listen, such is the power of the Prince of Darkness that he can kill with a single look. Attacks against Ganon will prove fruitless.
Wait, Prince of Darkness?
You sober now?
No, yeah.
Zelda's Adventure is a little different, being a game more like Zelda 1 and Link to the Past, but is completely devoid of any music at all, and the cutscenes are all real-time actors, but with similarly awful production value. The only good thing I could draw from any of these is that I always thought it would be interesting to play a Zelda game as Zelda herself, like in World of Gamelon or Adventure. But this appeal wears thin quickly, as Zelda plays identical to Link, meaning it matters nothing more than a change in costume. But at least now I can move on to better things. Although this is another game I would like to review, I don't have the means to do it. Legend of Zelda 4 Swords is a pretty short little game, included with a GBA port of A Link to the Past. However, it can't be played alone. This is the first of 3 multiplayer focused Zelda titles to 4 players who work together to clear through some dungeons, puzzles and bosses, where rupees are really important, and adds a slight competitive element to see who can gather the most across each stage. I would love to do a full review of this game, but I'm sad and lonely, so we'll have to move on. This next part is going to move pretty fast, because I'm going to do a quick fire rundown of Zelda references and Easter eggs in other games. Ready? Let's go. Link appears shown to play in F1 race for the Game Boy, and DKSA 2 when the player gets game over. Link who found sleeping inside the Rose Town Inn in Super Mario RPG, and the Triforce is a treasure during the Great K Offensive in Kirby Superstar. Picross Volume 5 has several Zelda-themed character puzzles, and Mario Artist for the N64 DD has some stamps of Link and Zelda. Finally, in the original Animal Crossing for the GameCube, the mascot is a decoration the player can purchase, along with having the original Legend of Zelda as a hidden NES game that is fully playable within Animal Crossing. And, with the quick facts out the way, there are things to cover in this video the series inclusion in Smash Bros. Specifically 64 and Melee. Brawl for Ultimate will come later. For the record, this isn't a review of these games, just an overview of Zelda's involvement with the series. Smash 64, being the first game in that series, naturally has least to go over. Link is the only character here, appearing based for Ocarina of Time. The Master Sword is a key part of the moveset along with bombs and the boomerang. While Link holds Hylian Shield here, it doesn't block projectiles like it does in Melee. His alternate costumes include the Goron and Zora tunic, with the last skin inspired by his palette swap in the original Legend of Zelda. While Smash 64 does have a small competitive scene, it isn't the focus at all, and as such, working with setup playing Link here is treated like a party game rather than a fighting game. Hyrule Castle is the stage representing the series, although weirdly taking place on the roof of the thing, which I always found weird as you never go there in Ocarina of Time. But that's it for 64, and it's about what you'd expect from the first entry in a crossover fighter like Smash. Now Melee is a different beast. For many, Melee is still seen as the pinnacle of the series, with competitive gameplay and series additions. Not to mention the inclusion of so many more different game franchises under its spell. God damn it, Roy! Melee adds in a ton of new music, items and trophies to collect from the Zelda series, along with few new playable characters. For Link, there isn't much more to add aside from the fact that he can now use the bow, because Melee adds in side special as an input, but Melee adds another version of the creature's hero in the form of Young Link, the best Link. Young Link is very similar to his copy, but is faster and based on his Majora's Mask entry, shown by his use of the fire arrows. Both versions of the Hero of Time are okay fighters, but nothing amazing, although will place Young Link 7 years ahead of his counterpart. The next major character is Zelda herself. Her specials involve spells named after the goddesses, Feyre's Wind, Din's Fire and Nehru's Love. Now Zelda is a pretty poor character in terms of actual combat skill, but here's what makes her so distinct in Melee and Brawl. Hylian Batman. Zelda's dance specials are transformed into her edgy alter ego Sheik, and she is a staggering improvement over Zelda, with way faster movement, devastating kicks and insane combo potential. But let's complete a try first, shall we? It's pretty well documented by now that Ganondorf is almost an exact clone of Captain Falcon, only hits harder and moves slower. The Blue Falcon Master is easily a better competitive fighter, but who cares? Ganondorf is stupid fun even when losing. There are no Zelda influences in his moveset however, so for this video there isn't much to add. As for the Zelda related content, we have a few new stages, great bit from Majora's Mask, but first, a model of the fan service Majora's Mask, not including the fairy nonce, this stage isn't the best. It has too many moving parts for me to have a lot of fun with it. As for other stages, the underground maze is locked to adventure mode, and it's kinda cool but also pretty forgettable, and Temple is based on the passes from Zelda 2. I love this stage. Fun on once, it's a bit too fucking huge, but it's great for 4-player matches, where shit just gets crazy. And with that, I think it's time to wrap this video up and move on to the next big review. The next Zelda video should be the Oracles, if I can record the footage. Failing that, I move on to the next 3D Zelda, which will be Wind Waker. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to get 4 swords in that time. Regardless of what's next, I hope you stick around and subscribe if you do enjoy the video. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.